Right. In today's class, we are going to see your EMF and terminal potential difference of a cell or a battery, and we are going to calculate your equivalent EMFs, internal resistances and all when cells are connected in series and parallel. Okay. So now let us start with, okay, first the heading is cells. And in cells, okay, the first part that I am going to discuss is, okay, what is the difference between EMF and terminal potential difference. Okay, so EMF will indirectly, it is nothing but your electromotive force, and your TPD is terminal potential difference. Okay, so TPD indicates terminal potential difference, EMF will indicate electromotive force. Okay, right. So these are the different cases that you actually have. Okay, now in each term, I mean, what is the meaning, what is the explanation of this each term, I will do it now. Now for that, to know, first of all you need to know that your cell or a battery is represented by this symbol like this. Okay, in this symbol, this is your negative terminal, and this is your positive terminal. Okay, and I told you, if there is this is not having any internal resistance. Okay, a cell with internal resistance, they will keep it like this. They will have internal resistance here, or they will give you a small box like this with a dotted line like this. This is also kind of cell with internal resistance. This is cell without internal resistance, and this is cell with internal resistance. Okay, so this is what is called as your ideal battery. Okay, so ideal battery in the sense there is no internal resistance for this battery. Okay, now what will your battery do is, your battery will convert, okay, what will your cell do is, cell basically, okay, what will your cell do is, it converts chemical energy, into electrical energy. Okay, so it converts chemical energy into electrical energy. So using chemical reactions, what happens is, your battery, because of the chemical reactions, electrons will be released, or anions and cations will be there. So that cations and all, they will get deposited into the electrodes. Okay, depending upon whether it is galvanic cell or voltaic cell, such kind of stuff. That all, those things and all you will see in chemistry. But here in physics part, for the physics sake, only thing that I want you to understand is, a cell means, cell is nothing but it will use chemical energy, okay, and it will give electrical energy. That's all. For physics, that much is enough. And for a cell, there will be two terminals like this. One is positive terminal, and another is negative terminal. Okay, now keeping this in mind, okay, what is the difference between EMF and terminal potential difference? I will explain now. To understand that, okay, first of all, what exactly happens when you are connecting a battery like this to a wire, what happens, let me tell you. So this is your wire, okay, so here you have, this part is your wire. Okay, now we will just simply usually represent it by a line, but I have, for to understand that it is thick, okay, it is having some thickness, I have represented it like this, okay. Now from this battery, because of the potential difference, okay, positive charge flows from high potential region to low potential region, and your negative charge will flow from low potential region to high potential region. So your negative terminal is at low potential. So what happens is your electrons, they will start moving like this, okay, from negative terminal of the battery to positive terminal of the battery in the wires, okay. You cannot actually produce protons, only electrons will actually move in the circuit. So now here these electrons, okay, they are, I mean, negative charge flows from low potential to high potential region, no. So now here your electron is flowing outside, okay, from negative terminal to positive terminal. Your current direction is opposite to that of negative charge. So that is why indirectly your current is going to flow like this from positive terminal, okay. So outside battery, okay, outside battery, okay, for a single cell circuit, okay, for in a bigger circuit, Kirchhoff's laws you can apply and decide the direction of current, but usually in a circuit which simply contains a battery like this, I want you to understand outside battery I flows from, okay, positive to negative terminal, okay, and electrons will flow from negative to positive, okay, and inside battery, okay, if you are taking inside of the battery, inside the battery, for current to flow obviously we need closed path, okay. Inside the battery what happens is current will flow from negative to positive, okay. I flows from negative to positive terminal inside the battery like this, okay, right. So this is your basic idea, okay. So far I did not use these two terms, EMF and terminal potential difference, but if you take a cell, okay, a cell symbol is like this, a cell with internal resistance is represented like this or with some box like this, and here in a cell what happens is basically it converts chemical energy into electrical energy, and what happens is because of the chemical reactions your electrons will start actually moving from negative to positive terminal like this, okay. This much is your basic idea of a cell, and it anyhow I told you positive terminal higher potential, negative terminal lower potential, this I have explained previously also, okay. So this much if you have understood about cell, that is enough. Now I will come to EMF and terminal potential difference now, okay. So all this is just explaining what is a cell, that's all, okay, right. Now hope you have copied these things down, okay. Now what is this EMF and terminal potential difference, I will tell you, okay. Now let us say this is a cell like this, and for this cell you have a battery like this, I mean this is a cell or a battery, so this is what you have, okay. Now this is inside of battery, this is outside of battery, okay. Now an important point that I want you to remember is, okay, from this positive terminal, okay, let us say this is your positive terminal, let us say this is your negative terminal, let us say this is A and this is B, okay. Now what happens here, I will tell you. Outside this battery you will have something called as conservative electric field, okay, because whenever there is movement of charge, obviously that is because of potential difference. If there is potential difference, there is field. So there is some potential difference between positive terminal and negative terminal, so that means there is some electric field. So here you have conservative electric field outside the battery, and inside the battery you have non-conservative electric field, okay, non-conservative electric field, and outside you have conservative electric field, okay. Now what is this electromotive force means, okay, Don't say because the word force is used, unit is Newton. Okay, it is not the case. Okay, so what is this electromotive force means? If you are taking this plus q charge, okay, say for example you have plus q charge. This plus q charge, if you are taking it from here and you are bringing along this external circuit like this and placing it here, okay, getting my point? From A to B, if you are moving this charge, okay, you have conservative electric field from A to B. Now your B to A, further if you move, okay, you will do some work in shifting the charge from A to B. Then from B to A also if you move, okay, what happens here is, okay, you will think that, okay, what is the work done from A to A means, you will think that the answer is 0. It is not the case. Okay, work done in shifting the charge, okay, indirectly what is your EMF means, work by charge, okay, which is nothing but, okay, work done in shifting plus 1 coulomb charge from A to A here, from positive terminal to positive terminal. Okay, so work done per unit charge. Okay, so plus 1 coulomb if you take and shift it along this closed path like this and bring it here, okay, you will have the tendency to think that the answer is 0, but that is not the case. Why the answer is not 0 means, work done in closed path is 0 for conservative fields. Okay, now from A to B you have, I mean outside you have conservative electric field, inside you have non-conservative electric field. So your work done is not 0 in non-conservative electric field, work done is 0 only in conservative electric fields. So from A to B if you are moving, okay, from A to B you have conservative electric field, but from B to A you have non-conservative electric field. So that work done in shifting plus 1 coulomb or work done in shifting by total charge, how much you are shifting, that is your electromotive force. Indirectly its unit is once again volt. Okay, so it is work done per unit charge. Okay, we have written work done in shifting a charge is charge times potential difference between the 2 points. That formula when it is valid means only when you have conservative electric field. But here do you have conservative electric field means yes, but only till outside. Inside of the battery you don't have. In a closed path here work done is not 0. Okay, so I will write that point. Okay, for note, for understanding sake you can remember, work done in closed path is 0. Work done in closed path is 0 only in conservative fields. Okay, here you don't have conservative field completely, you only have conservative field outside. Okay, right, so keep this in mind. Okay, so this work done in shifting plus 1 coulomb charge from positive to positive is your EMF. Okay, next coming to your terminal potential difference. Okay, your terminal potential difference is potential difference between these 2 points A and B. Okay, so between A and B, that means you take plus 1 coulomb charge, you bring it like this and place it here. How much work you do, that is your terminal potential difference, or which is indirectly work done shifting from A to B through the battery or outside the battery, both will be in the same. Okay, so what is your terminal potential difference means, okay, it is work done in shifting plus 1 coulomb charge from positive to negative terminal or negative to positive, depending upon whatever you take. Magnitude is what you are considering. Okay, mod, okay, magnitude is what you are going to consider. Okay, work done in shifting plus 1 coulomb charge from positive to negative or negative to positive terminal. Okay, so that means if you are taking plus 1 coulomb charge and shifting it like this and placing it at this point, how much work you do, that is your potential difference, terminal potential difference. Okay, hope you have understood what I have explained. Okay, EMF is work done in closed path and it is not zero because you have non-conservative electric field. Terminal potential difference is nothing but your potential difference between these two terminals, between positive terminal and negative terminal. Terminal word will indicate that, okay. And remember, okay, it is always positive. That means you have to indirectly take the mod, okay. You have to usually give positive minus negative 1, and EMF is also positive, okay. So keep these 2 points in mind, okay, right. So hope you have understood what is the difference between EMF and terminal potential difference logically, okay. Now this part, okay, I will take a cell with some internal resistance and then I will explain, okay. So then you will have great clarity of what is EMF and terminal potential difference mathematically, okay, right. So hope you have copied this. I will continue, I will erase this stuff, I will move ahead. Now what is this EMF? What is your terminal potential difference? Hope you got some clarity. Now I will keep elaborating. Let us say you have a cell. Let me erase this. Let us say you have a cell and you have some resistance R, okay, and EMF is E, internal resistance is smaller, okay, right. Now in this case you are supposed to understand what is EMF and what is your terminal potential difference. Now I told you many times, once again I am telling you, Kirchhoff's law, if you are trying to apply properly, then your job is done for current electricity. So if I current comes like this, okay, because this is your positive terminal, the same I flows like this, okay. Let me mark 2 points here, A and B. Now what is your EMF and what is your terminal potential difference, I will explain. Now keep that aside, okay. So if you try to apply Kirchhoff's law, plus E minus I times small r minus I times capital R is equal to 0. From here what is your current I means, okay. So I will take I as the current. So I is EMF by small r plus capital R, okay. Your current I is EMF by small r plus capital R, okay. So you have your current like this, okay. So you have current, okay. Now once you get the value of current, okay, observe carefully. If you travel, okay, between A and B, I told you what is the terminal potential difference means potential difference between these two terminals of the cell. So between these two terminals, if you are traveling outside, okay, it is minus IR, and through the cell if you are traveling, how much it is I will tell you. So I will apply Kirchhoff's sign convention. Your terminal potential difference, okay, terminal potential difference, okay, how much it is in this case means, okay, TPD is mod of, if you are traveling from A to B through outside of resistor, it is minus IR. Through the cell if you are traveling, minus E plus IR. That will give you nothing but your potential difference between A and B. Outside means through load resistor. This is actually called as load. Okay, this is your load resistor. If you are looking at some higher level books, it is termed as load resistor. Okay, so that is your load resistor, that is minus IR. okay, which is equal to mod of minus E plus IR. Now if you take that, finally what is that you are going to get? IR is equal to E minus IR. I have to take bigger value minus smaller value, okay, right? Now, okay, your terminal potential difference, I have got it, okay. Now let us look at this equation. So from here EMF is I times capital R plus I times small r, okay. So now this is your EMF, this is your terminal potential difference, this is also called as lost volts of battery, okay. So which is because of the battery, okay. Now an important point, okay. So this circuit is what? This is a discharging circuit, okay. So discharging circuit in the sense, okay, discharging means your current is actually being lost, okay. So discharge means losing, okay. So now here losing of power from this battery is happening. So in a discharging circuit, I can make a conclusion that your EMF is greater than terminal potential difference, okay. So for discharging circuit, I write that point clearly. For discharging circuit, your EMF is greater than terminal potential difference, okay. Now later we will see something called as charging circuit. For charging circuit, terminal potential difference is more and EMF is less, okay. So this is your basic idea of terminal potential difference, and you are just simply supposed to travel across the terminals of the cell. Outside you travel, no issues, or inside, no issues, okay. Now here the important point that I want you to understand is, as you keep using the battery, okay, R keeps changing, okay. Here small r will keep, okay, I will write that, okay. This R keeps changing with respect to usage, okay, with respect to usage. As you keep using the battery, internal resistance will actually keep changing. So what happens is, changing R will change I, automatically your terminal potential difference will change, but EMF will remain constant. So my point is, if I take a battery like this, okay, of EMF 100 volt, internal resistance says for example 5 ohms, okay, after 10 years, after 20 years, if you ask me what is EMF, still I will say 100 volt. R will become, it will increase, say some 20 volt like this. After 20 years, still EMF is same 100 volt. Your internal resistance will be some, sorry, this is ohms, 50 ohms, something like that, okay. As you keep using the battery, internal resistance will actually change, okay, right. So remember that EMF is indirectly nothing but your manufacturer specified quantity, okay. So if manufacturer puts some label and sends you the battery saying that EMF is this much, okay, you are going to have that much only. But okay, why is that we are going to say the cells has dried out and all means, okay, our cells will not supply EMF, our cells will supply terminal potential difference, okay. So cells dry out because of terminal potential difference, not because of EMF, okay. So terminal potential difference will change, okay, and your batteries will provide only terminal potential difference, okay. Your battery will not provide EMF, okay. So battery's purpose is providing terminal potential difference, not the EMF, okay. So this is your basic idea of discharging circuit, okay. Next is charging battery, okay. Hope you have got some clarity. Next situation is Okay. Next is charging circuit. So in discharging circuit, what happened was current has flown outside from positive to negative, inside from negative to positive. Now in discharging circuit, if this is your EMF E and internal resistance R like this, now what happens is there will be some source or accumulator like this, okay, which will actually forcibly keep sending out current. Okay, this is your source. What it will do is, it is charging the battery, means usually current will flow like this from positive terminal. Here some other source is pushing the current through this battery. If current is flowing through this battery, if this is marked as A and if this is marked as B, okay, if you take the potential difference, your terminal potential difference, if you are traveling from the battery, it is minus E plus IR. Okay, so indirectly it is once again E minus IR. Okay, getting my point? I have to take the magnitude because it is a positive quantity. Okay, so EMF E minus IR. So here in this case, indirectly your terminal potential difference is greater than EMF. Okay, so hope you have understood what is meant by charging circuit. Okay, now if nothing is mentioned all the time, almost we will have only discharging circuit. Okay, so for discharging circuits only we are going to see that equivalent EMF, internal resistance and all. Okay, now coming to the basic ideas. Okay, first I will start with, okay, your cells. Okay, so now your cells connected in series. Okay, cells connected in series. Now when cells are connected in series, let us say you have identical cells, EMF E, internal resistance R, EMF E, internal resistance R, EMF E, internal resistance R, EMF E, internal resistance R like this, with connected with a load resistor like this. Okay, this is your R. Now what is your target is, okay, let us say you have totally n cells. Now what is that you are going to do is, you are going to replace this with a single cell whose EMF is E equivalent, whose equivalent internal resistance is R equivalent, and whose resistance is R load. Okay, now if all these cells are going to be replaced by a single cell, what should it do? It should provide same amount of current. Okay, how many cells you have? Okay, all these cells, what happens is, it should, okay, your single cell should also provide same amount of current through the load resistor. Okay, if all these cells will contribute a current I, this equivalent cell also should contribute same amount of current. Okay, now here first and foremost thing is, this is in order connection. Okay, in order connection means what? It is indirectly, if you are looking at this figure, a positive terminal of one cell is connected to negative of other. Okay, like this negative positives are connected. Out of order means one of the cells will be reversed. Okay, like that, how many you want you can remove. Now in order connection like this, okay, if you apply Kirchhoff's law, okay, if you are traveling like this, for first cell you will have E minus IR, for second cell you will have E minus IR, third cell you will have E minus IR. Like this, if there are n cells, okay, you are going to get n times E minus IR minus I times R load is equal to 0. This is what you are going to get for first cell, because you are going from negative to positive plus C in the direction of current minus IR like that. Okay, here if I try to apply Kirchhoff's law to the same, equivalent EMF minus I times R equivalent minus I times R load is equal to 0. Okay. Now here totally how many are there? N cells are there. So if there are N cells, what happens is Ne minus I times Nr minus I times R load is equal to 0. Okay. Now you compare these two equations. Okay. From this it is very clear that, okay, what are the conclusions? Equivalent, if there are identical cells, if there are different cells, we have to go for Kirchhoff's law only. So your equivalent EMF is N into E. Okay. Equivalent internal resistance is N times small r. Okay. And your total current I is Ne by R load plus N into R. Okay. So that means when there are N cells connected in order like this, you can replace this cell with a single cell whose equivalent EMF is N into E, equivalent internal resistance is N into R, and current I is Ne by R load plus Nr. Okay. Now from this you hope you have understood your basic idea. Okay. Now once this is done, what is that I am going to do is, okay, what is this useful and uselessness I will tell you. Okay. So when current is maximum, the circuit is useful. Okay. So look at this. For maximum I, okay, indirectly useful thing, okay, useful circuit, what happens is, if your R load is very much greater than N times small r, what happens is your current I is going to become Ne by R load plus Nr can be replaced with R load. So this is going to become N times of something. Okay. N times of something means it is obviously a big value. So that is why your circuit is useful here. For minimum I, it is useless. So your R load is very much less than Nr. Your current I is Ne by Nr, Nn will go off, you are going to get E by R. Okay. So now when to use this I will tell you. Okay. It is useful means R load is big. So when there is big load resistor, we have to connect the cells in series. Okay. Next, when to use parallel connection means when there is less load, you have to go for parallel connection. Okay. Right. So in series, when load resistor is big, you have to connect the cells in series. Okay. Here it is in order connection and you have identical cells, you have connected it. Okay. So copy this thing down. Okay. Now here you have identical cells. Okay. If you have variable cells, okay, E1, E2, E3 like this, what is to be done? I will explain now. Okay. So if there are variable cells, what happens is only these expressions will change. So instead of identical cells, okay, next case is non-identical cells if you have, okay, E1, R1, E2, R2, E3, R3, E4, R4 like this, or from this side you start, no issues. Ultimately you will get E1 plus E2 plus, for those of you who are actually getting confused, it is better if I write E1 minus I1 R1, IR1 plus E2 minus IR2 plus E3 minus IR3 plus so on, minus I times R load is equal to 0. Okay, I am coming, actually I should have kept this as E1 R1 like this. So obviously from logic, E1 plus E2 plus so on up to En minus I times R1 plus R2 plus R3 plus so on up to Rn is equal to 0. So comparing these two equations, minus I R load is there. So your equivalent EMF is, okay, E1 plus E2 plus E3 plus so on up to En, and equivalent internal resistance is R1 plus R2 plus so on up to Rn. Okay, resistance will not change. Okay, this is for different cells. Okay, right. Next, for in order connection. Okay, now next is out of order connection, and how we are going to do that I will tell you. Okay. Next is out of order connection. So out of order connection for cells. What is this out of order connection? I will tell you. So for example, you have a cell of EMF E, internal resistance R like this. Okay. So what is this out of order connection? Observe carefully. Now for example, you have connected this cell in out of order, and you have connected it to a load resistor like this. Okay, for clarity sake I am telling you. Now here what happens is, when your current starts flowing and if you are applying Kirchhoff's law, okay, so what is that you are going to get is minus E minus I times small r plus E minus I times small r plus E minus I times small r minus I times R load is equal to 0 is what you are going to get. Now minus E plus E will cancel off. That means for every cell connected in out of order, for every one cell connected in out of order, in the equivalent EMF, okay, in the equivalent EMF, one more cells E is cancelling off. Okay, so here you have two cells, instead of plus E, one is cancelling off, minus E is also cancelling off. Okay, so instead of one E, one more E is cancelling off. Like this, if E's are cancelling off, automatically what is that you are going to say is, for every one cell, one E is cancelling off. If there one more E also will get cancelled off. Like this, if there are P cells connected out of order, 2P will be cancelling off. But if you look at this, your internal resistance is not going to change, because equivalent internal resistance here it is 3 times IR. Okay, if you are replacing this with a single cell and if you assume that it is passing the same amount of current. Okay, so here for out of order connection, okay, my final conclusion is, okay, for every one cell connected in out of order, one more cell's EMF is cancelling off. Okay, so now let us say you have n cells and somewhere here some P cells are connected out of order, and you have connected this load resistor R load. Okay, so all are identical cells, E comma R, E comma R, E comma R like this. So totally you have n cells. Out of this P out of order. Now in this case, okay, if you ask me what is your equivalent EMF, your equivalent EMF is n minus 2P into E, because for every one cell, one more cells E is cancelling off. Like that, for P cells, P more cells E will cancel off. That plus P and minus P will cancel off. So you are going to get equivalent EMF as n minus 2P into E, whereas your equivalent internal resistance is still the same n into R, and your current through this is I is equal to n minus 2P into E by, okay, R load plus NR. Okay, this is going to be your current. Okay, right. So this is what you are supposed to do for out of order connection for identical cells. Okay, hope you have understood what I have explained. This is regarding cells connected in series. Okay, next, Next we will talk of cells connected in parallel. Cells connected in parallel. Okay, so what is that you are supposed to do is, next is cells connected in parallel. Okay, so cells connected in parallel, how that is the case I will tell you. Identical cells first, E comma R, E comma R, E comma R, E comma R, like this. This is your load resistance. Okay, now here because it is in parallel, current will split I1, I2, I3, so on. Let us say totally there are m rows. Okay, you have m rows of cells like this, so on up to Im. Everything will combine and give you I. Okay, now if you apply, okay, Kirchhoff's first law only to this outer branch, okay, then that will give you E minus I1 R minus I times R load is equal to 0. Okay, across that white color line I am applying Kirchhoff's law. From here, what is your I1 means E minus I times R load. Okay, E minus I times R load by small r. Okay, next for the equivalent circuit, okay, for the equivalent circuit you are going to replace this with a single cell and R equivalent times and R load is what you are going to have. It should also pump same amount of current. If it is pumping out same amount of current, that will give you E equivalent minus I times R equivalent minus I times R load is equal to 0. I have applied Kirchhoff's law, that's all. So that will give you I is equivalent EMF by R equivalent plus R load is what you are going to get from here. Okay, now keep this in mind. Next, what is your I2 means? Your I2 is E minus I times R load by R, so on up to Im, E minus I times R load by R. Now add all these terms, applying Kirchhoff's law. I1 plus I2 plus I3 plus so on up to Im is I. I is equal to, like this, how many are there? M terms are there. So that will become M times of E minus I times R load by R. So rearranging the terms, I is, okay, so that will give you, I will send this M to the denominator, that will give you E minus I times R load by R by M. Okay, just hold on, I have missed the terms. Did I do so? Okay, this expression itself we will keep it as such. Okay, we will not simplify this. Rearrange the terms here. Okay, so rearranging, E minus I times R by M minus I times R load is equal to 0. I have cross multiplied and brought all the terms to same side. Now compare these two. Okay, if you compare these two equations, from this what is your equivalent EMF is? Equivalent EMF is still the same E. Okay, and your equivalent internal resistance R equivalent is how much, means it is R by M. Okay, right, so you have got your equivalent resistance and you have got your equivalent EMF. Okay, so like this you are going to have your equivalent EMF. Okay, and current you can write it from this. Your current I value is, okay, it is EMF E by R load plus R by M. Okay, now usefulness when there is maximum current. So useful when R load is very much less than R by M, your I is M times E by R. It is useless when R load is very much greater than R by M. Okay, R load is very much greater than I is equal to E by it is R load. Okay, so when there is more load resistance, parallel connection is useless. When there is less load resistance, parallel connection is useful, like this. Okay, so like this you have to replace. Okay, in the questions also, when there are multiple cells like this, you have to replace with a single cell whose equivalent EMF is that much and internal resistance is that much. Okay, right. Now I hope I can erase this. Okay, copy it down. Any doubts, just let me know. Okay, next is mixed grouping of cells. Now we have seen series and parallel connections. Now we are going to see mixed grouping. Okay, I will keep the heading as mixed grouping of cells. Okay, now for the mixed grouping part, all are identical. Okay, if they are different, I will explain next when they are in parallel and all. If they are different, what is the case, I will show it to you next separately. Okay, now for parallel part I am not doing different cells. For series I have shown for different cells, but parallel right now I will not do it. Okay, so this is what you have. Okay, like this you have some combination of cells and your current is this much. Now in this case you are supposed to understand an important thing, that is you have totally how many means n cells in each row, and like this how many rows are there, m rows. Okay, n in each and m in rows. Okay, now for a matrix your order you will say m into n. Now here what is your total number of cells means it is m into n. Okay, so some cells are in series, some cells are in parallel. For this we are trying to actually find out equivalent resistance. Now here top entire part, because all of these are in series, we have seen what is the result for series. So I can replace it with a single cell whose EMF is NE, whose internal resistance is NR. Okay, next for the second cell your EMF is NE, internal resistance is NR. For the next cell your equivalent EMF is NE, internal resistance is NR, like this. Okay, like this totally how many are there means totally there are m rows. Okay, all are identical and totally you have m. Okay, now when they are in parallel, all these are obviously they are in parallel. So when they are in parallel, what happens in the parallel connection, what exactly happens is your equivalent EMF will remain same as such. So NE, equivalent internal resistance, if you have equivalent internal resistance as R, we got answer R by M. Here we have NR, so it is NR by M is your equivalent internal resistance. Okay, so that will give you your equivalent thing. So from this much story, okay, what is your conclusion is your current equivalent EMF is, okay, how much it is means it is N into E. Equivalent internal resistance is it is NR by M. What is your current I means, okay, if you apply Kirchhoff's law, you are going to get NE by R load plus NR by M. So that will give you M into N into E by M times number of rows times load resistance plus NR. Okay, so this is your final current. Okay, so copy this step down, pause the video clip, copy these values Now once you get these values, I will go ahead to the problems part. No, problems no. First we will see the maximum current condition, then followed by we will see some other things and then problems. Okay, so hope I can erase it. Okay, you have got the logic. Okay, so I am erasing it. Hope you have copied it down. Okay, right. So your next thing is, now your current I value is, you have got m into n into E by m times R load plus n times small r. Now maximum current condition, okay, for maximum I, what is to be done? Okay, now let us say you are given total number of cells as n, so then obviously your n is what? Number of rows into columns, so that will give you m into n. Okay, so now your current I can be written as m into n is capital N into E by small m can be written as capital N by small m can be written as capital N by small m into R load plus n times R. Okay, so this n is what? Total number of cells. Okay, total number of elements in a matrix is what? M into n, no? So obviously here it is capital N. So that will give you what? I is equal to small n into capital N into E by, okay, small n into capital N into E by n times R load plus n square into R. Okay, so this is your value. Okay, now for maximum current, okay, for maximum I, di by dn is equal to 0. So according to that logic, this part if I assume as u, this part as v, derivative of u by v is v times du, no? So according to that, this is going to become n times R load plus n square into small r times derivative of n into E will become capital N into E. I am differentiating with respect to small n, minus small n capital N into E times 2n into R by denominator square v square. This part is anyhow equal to 0. So if I do so, okay, n into E if I take common, so n times R load plus n square into R, n into E I am taking out common, minus 2n square R is equal to 0. I have removed n into capital N into E common out, so it will cancel off. So small n into 2 small n will give you 2n square. So n times R load is equal to n square into R. What is capital N means? M into n. So m times n into R load is equal to n square into R. So n will go off. So you are going to get R load by small r is equal to n by m. Okay, now what is your maximum current means? Your I max is equal to, okay, mn, okay, mn into E by m times R load plus nr is your current expression. Okay, so now in terms of internal resistance or load resistance, whatever you want you can express. What I will do is, your small r can be written as m times capital R by n from this. Okay, small r is m into small m into capital RL by n. So m into n, okay, m into n into E by m times RL plus small n into R. Small n into R is m times RL by n. N will cancel off, m will go off. Ne by 2R is what you are going to get, n times E by 2RL. M also will go off, you are going to get 2mRL. So Ne by 2RL. This is your maximum current. Okay. In terms of internal resistance, if you want, you can substitute accordingly and get the result. Okay. Now from this, what is that you are supposed to do is, okay, what is the advantage of this much explanation? I will tell you. For example, let us say you have 48 cells. Okay. Now I have asked you to each cell is given with some particular internal resistance, and I have asked you to calculate them, put them in a circuit. Now to get maximum current, the possible combinations you look, 24 into 2. Okay. Then you can also have 16 and 3. Okay. You can have 12 and 4 combination, you can have 8 and 6 combination, or you can have 8 6 6 8. Okay, anything could be m and n. Okay, in each cells, I mean in each row how many, and in each what. Okay, so 6 8, 4 12, 3 16, okay, and 2 and 24, all are different. This is m, this is n. How many to be connected in series, how many to be connected in parallel? Okay, it depends on how much is the load resistance. Okay, for example, if I give you R load is 3 and small r is, for example, I am giving you as, R load I am giving you 16, small r is 3, for example, then according to this relation, okay, R load by small r, okay, R load by small r is n by m, that is equal to 16 by 3. So that means in each row you have to have 16 cells, like that you have to have 3 rows. Okay, so like this you can divide accordingly depending upon whatever is actually asked in the question. Okay, if you get some fractional number, like, I mean, you can divide. Okay, what are the conditions for this part? Okay, to get maximum current, conditions I will write. Okay, just look at the 2 conditions alone. Okay, that is, from here your R load by small r is n by m, your m into n is capital N, total number of cells. Looking at these 2 conditions, you decide how many are to be connected in series and how many are to be connected in parallel. Okay, use these 2 conditions, that's all. That will tell you how many to correct to get the maximum current. Connect accordingly and then give the final answer. Okay, right. So that's all with this mixed grouping of cells. Okay, now I'll erase this, I'll continue further ahead. Okay, now let us say you have only 2 cells. All right, now we have seen what is series grouping, what is parallel grouping. Now I'll discuss something very important. Okay, that is what to do when you are actually given, okay, what to do when you are actually given a mixed grouping of parallel grouping of different cells. Okay, so you basically have different cells given to you. Okay, so now cells EMF is E1 R1, this cell's EMF is E2, internal resistance is R2, and then you have R load connected like this. You are going to replace this with a single cell whose EMF is E equivalent, internal resistance is R equivalent, and load resistance is R load like this. Okay, here your cells are supporting each other. So obviously when these 2 EMFs are onto one side, okay, if you look into this figure, these 2 positive terminals are connected to this side, resultant also will have it connected to same side. Okay, right. So now if current I is being sent like this, okay, then what happens is I1 current will get like this, and this will become I minus I1. Okay, I am just simply trying to apply Kirchhoff's law and get the equivalent values, that's all. Okay, so your first equation is, if I travel from A to B through the top part and through the bottom part, if I am trying to apply Kirchhoff's law only in this part, okay, E1 minus I1 R1 minus E2 plus I minus I1 into R2 is equal to 0. Okay, only in this top part I am applying Kirchhoff's law. Okay, so for this top part, if I apply Kirchhoff's law, what is going to be my answer? Okay, just hold on. Alright, so now I have applied Kirchhoff's law only in this top branch and I am getting the value of I1 in terms of I. Next, what is that I am going to do next is, I am going to apply Kirchhoff's law along this branch, that is from the top like this I will apply, so that will give me E1 minus I1 small r1 minus I1 small r1 minus I times R load is equal to 0. So that will give me what is my final equation is. Okay, so this equation I will write separately, equivalent EMF minus I times R equivalent minus I times R load is equal to 0. Okay, so I will just rearrange the terms so that you will have clarity. So I will erase this stuff. So I am rearranging the terms. I will substitute this I1 into this equation. So that will give me E1 minus I1. I1 is E1 minus E2 plus I times R2. E1 minus E2 plus I times R2 by R1 plus R2. Okay, minus I times R load is equal to 0. Okay, so I1 I have put it into this part. Okay, so I1 will split, I1 I have put it into this. Okay, so right, so I1 will be E1 minus E2 plus IR2 by R1 plus R2. Okay, so now rearranging the terms, sorry, this is I1 into, you have R1 with a minus sign. Okay, so R1 is also there from that equation. So E1 times R1 plus R2 minus E1 minus E2 times R1 minus I R1 R2 whole divided by R1 plus R2 minus I times R load is equal to 0. So rearranging the terms, E1 minus, what is there, E1 R2 plus E2 R1 by R1 plus R2. Okay, this entire E1 R1 will cancel off, minus I times R1 R2 by R1 plus R2 minus I times R load is equal to 0. So that will give you divide this with 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2, that will give you E1 by R2 plus E2 R1 divided by R1 R2. I am just rearranging. Why is that? I will tell you. R1 plus R2 by R1 R2. I have divided this expression with R1 R2 minus I times divide R1 R2, that will give you R equivalent for parallel is R1 R2 by R1 plus R2 minus I times R load is equal to 0. Now comparing with this equation, because this is in parallel, no, these two cells are indirectly, so R1 R2 by R1 plus R2, so this part is indirectly your equivalent EMF. So this, if you simplify, you are going to get E1 by R1 plus E2 by R2 and 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2. So from this, okay, your equivalent EMF is, for this cell it is E1 by R1 plus E2 by R2 whole divided by 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2. Okay, now here this is what you are going to get, E1 by R1 plus E2 by R2 whole divided by 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2, this result. Okay, now if one of these cells is tilted, okay, that means the terminals are interchanged. Okay, check for which one is big, E1 by R1 is big or E2 by R2 is big. Which for big value you keep the positive, your resultant terminal should be that way, and smaller value you just simply keep a minus sign. Okay, and then you do it. Okay, so I'll write that as a note. Okay, hope you have copied it down. Okay, note: if cells are in opposite directions, that means one is to the front like this, one is to the back and other is to the front like this. Okay, now here you have same direction, no, but now in this case you are supposed to replace with equivalent in, if it is E1 by R1 is greater than E2 by R2, replace it this way. Okay, so in the direction of E1, if it is reverse, put in the reverse direction. Okay, depending upon if this E2 R2 is big, okay, this is E1 R1. If it is big, E1 by R1 is big, positive terminal left, negative terminal right. If this is big, E2 by R2 is big, positive right and negative left. Okay, like this you have to connect the equivalent cell. Okay, so finally with this, hope you have understood what I have explained. Okay, so with this we will come to end of the cells. Okay, now after watching this video, okay, what I want you to do is, with this part your current electricity part alone is done without talking of power and all. Okay, now we need to understand little of capacitors separately and then we should come back to this topic. Okay, now with this I will stop. Okay, this is first set of lectures, then I will do capacitor separately and then I will combine this current electricity and capacitors and then do something else. Okay, hope you have understood it, what I am trying to say. Next we will start capacitors and then we will finish off capacitors and then we will start with the current electricity part once again, or else we have to do power terms related, power calculations, heating effects and all, and then we have to do capacitors and then we will come back to this. Okay, so in the next class either we will do power related terms or we will go for capacitors. Okay, thank you, that's all for today.